Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you all of my favorite Friends to Lovers books available on Kindle Unlimited. So if you didn't know, Friends to Lovers is one of my favorite tropes in all of romance or in any genre really. It's just like, I love a good Friends to Lovers situation. Enemies to Lovers is great, but there's something so special about seeing people who really like understand each other and get along, kind of falling for each other. I think it's a little bit more special than Enemies to Lovers. Anyway, let's get into my favorite Friends to Lovers books available on Kindle Unlimited. The first one is Loves Aries by Anita Sunday, and I think the best way to sum up this book really is there's only one bed. I feel like that's actually a little bit misleading. I kind of take that back. I'm not entirely sure. I can't entirely remember if that is something that's actually done in this book, but it definitely has that sort of fan fiction feel to it, which I absolutely adored. I don't think there are many books out there that really do the whole mutual pining Friends to Lovers thing very well, and this one succeeds swimmingly well at that. So the book is about Theo and Jamie, who are roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
And that's pretty much it. It is not a super plot heavy romance, which I kind of appreciated. You get to see kind of the day-to-day of both Theo and Jamie as they kind of move in together, develop this strong friendship. They were friends prior, but now they're developing a stronger friendship. And then there's sort of that will they, won't they? Like, will they kind of touch hands? Will they snuggle? Oh, it's just special. There's something about it. And I think when you're reading a romance, it's usually not a big deal what the plot is. I kind of like when there aren't these kind of drawn out, overblown conflicts. This book doesn't have a super like strong and scary conflict. There's just that, like I said, will they, won't they? Like, will they kind of cross the boundary from friends to lovers? Of course they do. The next Friends to Lovers book that I recommend is Fighting Silence by Ali Martinez. I like to call this one Beautiful Disaster's Less Problematic Cousin. So the story is about Till and Eliza, and in typical self-published modern romance fashion, this story is told over an 8-year period as we see Till and Eliza kind of date other people but maintain their friendship, and we see them both mutually being in love with each other and not being able to kind of express that, not wanting to kind of break the bounds of that friendship. I think this particular book stands out among some of my other recommendations because it has a grittier feel to it. Eliza and Till have definitely been through some shit and they don't exactly have the best home lives, so seeing them be so bonded at such a young age and watching them kind of grow up together is kind of special. I think that's one of the tropes that really gets me the most, is not just friends to lovers, but childhood friends to lovers. And I also think that in this book, the family aspect is done incredibly well. We get not only, like I said, the relationship between Till and Eliza, but we get kind of more of an insight into Till's home life and his relationship with his little brothers, which, God, I love it. I love his relationship with his brothers, which sets up the next two books in the series incredibly well because the next two books in the series are about his brothers. And I will say, I think one of the next two books in the series is a friends to lover situation again. I mean, it's slightly different, but it is, again, a friends to lover situation. This one, again, is pretty unique in the fact that it is a sports romance. I don't know if I said that, but I kind of implied it at the beginning. It is boxing, and also Till is losing his hearing, so there is some deaf rep, especially near the end of the book. So like I said, childhood, friends to lovers, sports romance, deaf representation, like there's so much to love about this book. Couldn't recommend this book or this series highly enough. Now the next book is a book that I have loved for not as long as the others on this list, but it has easily skyrocketed as one of my favorite books of the year, and it is The Guy on the Right by Kate Stewart. I think Kate Stewart did such a phenomenal job in an opposite respect that Ali Martinez did a good job in. Kate Stewart was able to take two people who barely knew each other, make them friends, and then make them friends that I wanted to get together successfully in one book. This book probably has the most collegiate new adult feel to it, so if that's something you're looking for, this might be the book for you. So the book itself is about Theo and Lainey. Theo is a gifted musician who was in his big Texas college marching band, and Lainey is a hottie who has kind of been down on her luck when it comes to romantic relationships. She's been burned one too many times, and on top of that, her grandma has recently passed away. So after this series of unfortunate events, Lainey decides that she's going to save up, pool all of her money, and go on a post-grad trip to Europe. She is a senior in college, and she is very much intent on not getting into anything with dudes. So basically, Theo and Lainey meet at a party, and they're both super drunk. They both spill their guts to each other, both literally and verbally. This ends up developing into a friendship that spans the entire school year, and we see them develop, like I said, from acquaintances to friends to lovers. So they both start kind of realizing feelings for each other. Lainey has to deal with the fact that she kind of has shitty taste in guys. Theo has to deal with the fact that he has been burned before. He's been cheated on. He's always kind of been in the friend zone with a lot of the female friends that he's had. So they kind of have to grapple with the shit that they've gone through and try to come together and try to fight all of that to be lovers. And it worked so well. I think the excellent thing about this book and about this writer is that she understands college students. I think a lot of books bring these super unrealistic or super like trauma-filled past to characters, and I'm not saying trauma doesn't occur, but I think a lot of the times things are blown out of proportion, or we're just giving characters shit to go through to have them have a backstory. In this case, these kind of feel like things that would actually happen to people and actually would prevent them from having a successful romantic relationship. The fact that Theo and Lainey are able to kind of overcome that and come together made the story special, unique, realistic, all of the things. The epilogue and the ending for this book was everything that I want in a romance. I like over the top, I like happily ever afters. I liked how sexy and swoony this book was. I could not recommend this book more. I am so excited to read more from this author in the future. I think she has another book in this series coming soon, which I'm thrilled about, but in the meantime, definitely go pick up The Guy on the Right. So the next book on my list is Dear Erin by Mariana Zapata, and I don't think it would be a Kindle Unlimited recommendations video if I didn't have the Queen of Slow Burn herself on this list. So I think this book is one that doesn't get talked about a lot because it's just a less taboo, like swoony read, but I think this one, again, really does a good job at getting you from acquaintances to friends to lovers. This book is about a guy named Aaron who's in the military and a girl named Ruby whose brother was at one point in the military. Ruby decides that she's going to be putting care packages together, and she is assigned Aaron. So she puts care packages together for him, writes him letters, and the first few letters she sends, he doesn't reply to. She's kind of wondering, is this guy a dick? But eventually Aaron decides to kind of slowly start opening up to Ruby, and we see their relationship unfold through correspondence primarily. I know that's sort of like a hit or miss trope for some people. I personally really enjoyed it. I thought it worked really well for this story. And eventually Ruby and Aaron meet up in real life, and they kind of have to relearn each other all over again because, you know, it's different just corresponding with someone and then meeting them in real life, seeing how they carry themselves in the world, and just watching them go, like I said, from friends to lovers, which is sweet and swoony. And I think this one definitely has a special place in my heart because Ruby is from my hometown, and the place that Ruby and Aaron meet for the first time was actually the place that I was reading this book for the first time. So that was just really weird and special and perfect. So I'll just always kind of adore this story just a little bit more than some of Mariana Zapata's other books. The next book on my list is Infini by Krista and Becca Ritchie. So these two authors are known for their Addicted series and for their more recent Like Us series, but I think the Ariel Ethereal books are something just so unique and different in the kind of like new adult romance space. The books are essentially about Cirque du Soleil performers. They don't call it that because like copyright issues, but essentially it's about these families who are in this circus setting and about their dynamics. So on top of the romantic relationships, we do get these tight friendships and tight family bonds that really masterfully are woven into the story itself. So this book is the second in the series. There's only 2 books out so far, and they're standalone, so you don't have to read them in any particular order. This book is about Luca and Bailey, who are kind of forbidden to see each other. They've been friends since they were 12 years old. They end up getting into a situation that's a little bit compromising, and they're sort of forbidden to see each other or forbidden to engage in a sort of romantic relationship. So you've got that sort of like friends to lovers aspect, but you also get the sort of forbidden romance, Romeo and Juliet setting, which I really liked, and I think it makes it, again, a little bit different than some of the other books on this list. I think the reason I liked this one so much is because it was, again, kind of a spin on the classic friends to lovers situation. I also really liked the gritty setting of Las Vegas. It felt even more raw and real in this particular installment, and I also liked that the relationship felt very grounded in reality, despite the fact that both of the characters' lives were sort of unbelievable. I mean, I'm not saying people don't perform in Cirque du Soleil, but is it really a family affair? I don't know. Regardless, I really liked this book. I thought that the ending was pretty good, pretty satisfying, and overall I'm just really excited to see more books in this series. I don't know if there are going to be any more. It's been a long time since book 2 was written, but until then, you got book 2, you got book 1. It's a good time. So that's it. Those are all of my recommendations for my favorite friends to lovers romances available on Kindle Unlimited. Like always, I'm going to put a link in my description to sign up for Kindle Unlimited 1 month free if you'd like. I'm also going to put an Amazon link in the description if you guys want to check out any of these books. You just click into the link and then all of the books are there. You can literally just click, one click. It's easy. It's real easy. And then lastly, please put in the comments down below what videos you guys want to see next in the series. I've kind of exhausted my ideas for Kindle Unlimited recommendations. I can definitely think of some more tropes or some more themes, but I'd love to know what you guys are excited to see. So that's pretty much it. I love you guys so much, and until next time.